Hi, thank you for joining me. Interesting subject for this video. I want to think about, is your posture, the way you're sitting, the way you're standing, is that responsible for the way you feel? So commonly this can be discussed in the context of things like depression and anxiety and a lack of energy. So what I'm asking is your posture responsible for the way you feel? Now that might sound like a flippant question, but it really isn't. So depression is obviously a very, very real issue that affects a lot of people. It can be crippling for some people, and I think we all know some people that are affected by it to one extent or another. And another thing that's increasingly common in our society is a lack of energy. So if we can consider these conditions to be a state, a way of being that people adopt, it becomes a habit, not because we want it to be, it just does become a habit. We can actually say that people who are regularly very, very tired or regularly depressed are actually very efficient at getting themselves in that state. Just like someone who is regularly very, very happy is efficient at getting themselves in that state, or someone that's always full of energy is really efficient at getting themselves in that state. So what I'd like you to think about is, I'd like you to consider, is there a physiology, a particular posture, a way of holding your body that correlates to depression? So if you yourself have suffered with depression, or if you know someone that has, what does a depressed person generally look like? When people are really struggling emotionally, how do they hold themselves? Normally they'll be hunched forward, the head will probably be low, their eyes are not necessarily focused around them, and the facial muscles are probably quite relaxed. The breathing is probably restricted, and commonly these people, if you're suffering with depression, you'll probably have a lot of negative self-talk. The voice in your head will be telling you that you're not good enough for one reason or another. It'll be telling you negative things about the world. Try it. Hunch yourself forward, tip your head down, restrict your breathing because of how you sat, and tell yourself you're rubbish, tell yourself you're not good enough, and pretty shortly you'll feel pretty horrendous. Okay, so that's perhaps how someone suffering with depression might look. What about a physiology, a posture of someone who's really tired, got no energy? Similar but kind of different. So they're probably going to be slumped back, the head's not going to be engaged, the head's going to be either tipped back or leant forward, breathing's probably going to be low down in their abdomen, eyes are probably going to be quite unfocused, and your thought as well is probably going to be quite unfocused. Your mind's probably going to be wandering, it might be dwelling on something that's happened during the day. So try that. Sit yourself back, relax your spine, curve your spine, so shuffle your bum forward if you're sitting down, roll your shoulders forward, tip your head back, and pretty soon you'll feel like you haven't got a lot of energy at all. So if those are physiologies, if they are, that apply to states of depression and low energy, what does the physiology look like for the state that you want to be in? So imagine for a second, imagine you've got loads of energy, imagine you're confident, imagine that you have all the emotional and mental resources that you need to do whatever you want to do. What does that posture look like? It's probably sat or stood tall, shoulders are probably back, chin's probably quite high, probably smiling, eyes will be focused, facial muscles will be engaged, and the breathing will be up high in your chest. Okay, to really accentuate this, a very good friend of mine once told me, if you're standing like Peter Pan, you cannot be depressed or lack confidence. So if you want to try that, keep your shoulders back, pull your arms back, stand with your legs slightly apart, chin up, big smile on your face. You can't feel tired, you can't feel down, and you can't feel depressed when you are standing in that posture. There was a study done in America, it's about 10 or 15 years ago now, where the university treated some people who had long-term suffered with depression, and the exercise they got them to do, there was no medication involved whatsoever, excuse me, they got the people in the study to stand in front of a mirror for 20 minutes every day, just 20 minutes each day for 1 month, stood in front of a mirror, smiling, staring at themselves and smiling for 20 minutes, and not one person that was involved in that study ever went back to medical treatment, to pharmaceutical treatment for their issues. So there's some strong science behind it, but it's anecdotally true. If you stand tall, pull your shoulders back and smile, you can't feel down and you can't feel low energy. So this works for me on a regular basis. I've just it's 20 odd degrees outside, it's humid. I trained this morning in the gym before I went to work, and just now one of my best friends has just dragged me around a run, around a trail, a couple of laps around a trail, and we've done countless press-ups and pull-ups and burpees. So I'd like to thank Tom Henstock Fitness for that. If anyone's interested in any grueling fitness training, I'll put a link in the comments below. Check him out, he's really good. But it works. Give it a go. Okay, see you later.